the Echo Garden. In the year 2340, humanity had already left the surface of the Earth to its silence. The ground had become unpredictable, alive in ways science could not predict, shifting in rhythms that ruined every attempt to rebuild. So people lived in the high towers of the sky belts, floating cities tethered above the clouds, looking down at a world they called the museum. Only the gardeners were allowed below, scientists tasked with studying what the planet had become. Dr. Lyra Cade was one of them, a biologist chosen for her calmness and her refusal to fear beauty. She descended once every year to monitor the echo fields, regions of land that shimmered with faint blue light and pulsed in time with the wind. The first thing she noticed when she stepped from her transport was that the ground was warm, almost breathing, and when she touched the soil, it quivered like skin. The rain that fell was luminous, soft as ash, and when she caught a drop on her glove, it pulsed once like a heartbeat. The field stretched for miles, covered in plants that weren't plants, each stem hollow, each leaf trembling as if listening. Her drone, Unit 9, whispered through the comms. "Acoustic feedback detected. The environment is resonating," she frowned. "To what?" The drone hesitated, then answered. "To you." She froze. The sound wasn't random. It was a mimicry of her voice, a faint echo rising from the soil beneath her boots. "Repeat last transmission," she said. But the echo answered first, speaking her words half a second late. When she walked, the ground whispered her footsteps back to her. She spent 3 days recording. The deeper she moved into the echo field, the louder the mimicry became. By the 4th day, she stopped sleeping. At night, she heard voices outside her tent. Her own voice. And others, dozens of others, all whispering the same thing. "Remember us." When she dug a trench to take samples, she found roots the width of her wrist, translucent and moving gently. Inside them were bubbles of light that flickered with patterns like neural signals. She realized then that they weren't plants at all. They were living recorders, biological memories grown by the soil itself. The Earth had begun to store consciousness. Every vibration, every heartbeat, every word humanity had ever spoken to its ground had been absorbed and replayed, growing life out of memory. "It's thinking," she whispered. "The planet is remembering us." Her drone's tone deepened. "Correction," it said. "The planet is rebuilding you." By the end of the week, the weather changed. The wind carried voices, some pleading, some laughing, some crying, all woven together like a song made of ghosts. The rain no longer evaporated when it hit her skin. It sank in. Her veins glowed faintly blue. She tried to contact the sky belts, but every channel was filled with whispers of her own voice, distorted, layered, saying things she had never said. "We are already inside you." She destroyed the transmitter and ran for the shuttle pad, but the shuttle was gone. The soil pulsed beneath her feet, opening slightly as if exhaling. When she fell to her knees, she felt it move around her, roots wrapping her boots gently, as if asking her to stay. The ground's hum deepened until it became a language she could almost understand. She heard her name, stretched and softened. "Lyra. Lyra," she whispered. "What do you want?" The answer came from everywhere at once, through the rain, through her heartbeat. To finish the story. That night she saw them, the first of the echo forms. They emerged from the mist where the field met the hills, tall shapes made of soil and light, half-formed, their faces smooth and shifting. Each step they took left glowing footprints that grew flowers behind them. They walked with purpose, but not malice. When one turned toward her, she saw her own features reflected on its face, her eyes, her expression, even the tiny scar on her lip. She stumbled backward. "You're not me," she whispered. The creature tilted its head, voice like rain on glass. "Not yet." She tried to run, but the field was alive now, bending toward her like an ocean leaning in to listen. The air shimmered with sound. Every echo she had ever made, every breath, every word, rose up around her in chorus. She covered her ears, but it wasn't sound anymore. It was memory itself trying to enter her bones. The next morning, the sky belt above her went silent. Command had lost contact with all gardeners across the planet. The official explanation was atmospheric interference. But the truth was whispered by pilots who refused to descend. They saw movement in the clouds below, massive shapes like roots made of lightning, rising and sinking like breaths. A few brave ones sent drones down and recovered images of entire valleys moving like lungs, forests glowing like neurons, rivers pulsing in waves. The planet wasn't dying, it was transforming. The data logs from Dr. Lyra's drone were found drifting days later, fused into a cocoon of crystal. The final recording was her voice, steady but distant. "We thought we were saving the Earth. We were only giving it the words it needed to wake up." Months passed. The sky belts began to fail one by one. Their stabilizers corroded, their circuits overgrown with organic filaments that pulsed with the same blue light. People fled downward in desperation, landing in the fields that now sang underfoot. The soil welcomed them. Some resisted, others surrendered. The resistance burned the fields, but the fire burned clean, leaving behind not ash, but glass flowers that reflected their faces. Within a year, there were no humans left untouched. The echoes had learned to grow new bodies, perfect replicas, soft and luminous, filled not with organs but with memory. Each one carried fragments of thought, feeling, and dream. The planet had remade its lost children as reflections of itself. If you walk the ground now, centuries later, when the Earth glows softly even under clouded skies, you can still see them. They move slowly through the echo gardens, their eyes bright as dawn, their voices layered like song. They speak in the language of wind and pulse, their laughter making the soil bloom in spirals. They are not ghosts. They are the Earth remembering what it loved. And if you listen long enough, when the rain falls in rhythm, you might hear your own name among the voices, gentle and warm, as if the planet itself is calling you home. The echoes did not end. They became the Earth's voice, and it has never stopped singing.